know what that sound means, brother. Fire in the hole. We are fired up, ready to go. We got our guns blazing. We are hot and bothered. We are adding fuel to the flames, and we're about to drop it like it's hot, brother. We are gonna blaze a trail. We're gonna breathe fire. I know that's right. We are hot off the press, hot off the trail, but we ain't in hot water, brother. Don't get it mixed up. So feel the burn, rubber, burn in hell. Get burnt to a crisp or burn the midnight oil. Just don't burn any bridges, brother. Welcome to ScorchFest. That's right, this is Big Time in the Dirty. I'm Big Time. Now, before we go burning up the bayou down here in the Big Easy, you know I gotta check in on my main man, Dirty. How you doing, Dirty? What the hell did you just say, man? Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you had a tickle in your throat or something. Let's start the show.
What is going on, everybody? I'm Tom.
And I'm Pat.
We're best friends, and you're listening to the Reminiscent Podcast.
Hey, what's up? This is Nathan, the winner of ScorchFest 2021, and the proud owner of the first golden spatula. My advice to all of the 2022 contenders is to be prepared to eat your words. I tried to drop a nuclear Newfound Glory take last year, and now I've unironically listened to My Friends Over You 37 million times. So who knows, maybe by this time next year, you'll have a new favorite band. Just remember to keep it friendly, keep it fun, and when you turn the heat up, make sure it's blazing.
He sounded so good.
Allow me a moment here, Pat. Let me know if you can hear this.
I couldn't tell if it was a fart or if you broke a bag of chips.
No, I struck a match. I'm ready to go, brother.
Whoa. Turn up the heat.
Really, I'm just lighting an unscented pillar candle that makes my room feel nice. But I'm ready to go, man.
Non-crackling, of course. You don't want to mess up the audio.
Oh, I know. I do like those natural wood wicks, but they crackle, man. I'm not trying to have that.
Not in the studio, Tom. Are you crazy? But enough about candles, or should we talk more? Because it's ScorchFest.
Buckle up to be burned alive.
All right. We're doing it for the golden spatula, Tom. We will mail a cheap golden colored spatula from Amazon to your house. If you win this, we did it for Nathan last year. What a nice note from Nathan. Everyone's audio sounds so good.
Yeah.
We did a little prep for the show, not a ton, but we wanted to get our notes ready, and everyone sounds great. I'm in a great mood. It really cheered me up today.
Yeah.
Nathan, so heartfelt, so humble, so, I don't know, as far as the gets it meter goes, I mean, he knocked it out of the park. So, really cool. He is bowing out this year, and he's going to watch from the sidelines. He's earned it. And how are you feeling? It's a new year. New year. Same you, though?
New year, better me, I think, is what we're always striving for. It is January 4th, 2022 at the moment, and we are kicking off the year. So we've been having like a couple weird I guess not weird, it's the ethos of the show. We've been having a few downer months, and we're needing like a quick pick-me-up. So we're looking at doing like maybe a 2-month run of very positive episodes, but we want to burn the fucker down before we go. Start the year with ScorchFest. And
sure. Start from scratch, blank slate.
And I had a really good time this year. It was a little more planned. We've got a spreadsheet. We had a call for audio files. And if you missed the call for submissions, you need to be following us on Twitter, because that's where the show actually happens. The podcast itself has kind of become the sideshow, but we did put out a call for submissions, and we even we had a Google form. We had a Dropbox file request folder. So we're going to be hearing from the people themselves this year.
I think you would have had access to the link in our Instagram stories for a couple days there.
Yeah.
But most of the updates are on Twitter for sure, at _reminiscentfm.
That's right. And yeah, thanks, Nathan, for sending that in. I didn't really know. We kind of DM'd him on Twitter like, you want to give the commencement speech, and the heartfelt, man.
Couldn't have written it better. That was amazing. Honestly, it really has been a weirdly uplifting day listening to everyone just spout garbage. But a couple people impersonated the Big Time, and a couple people one of the individuals threw in a Remen ne'er-do-wells. We'll get to that all in a minute. but really uplifting stuff. Just what we needed, just what the doctor ordered. I know this is the Burn It Down episode, but I'm feeling pretty good, Tom. Doing it for the spatula. Can I hit you with a quick programming note?
Sure.
So if you listen to the show, you probably hear Melissa and Adrian's name a little bit here and there. Adrian wanted us to at least note this before we got into things. Tweeting at us recently, there needs to be a special hashtag ScorchFest 2022 shout out to Melissa for asking me to confirm my hatred for Man Overboard before snitch tagging a dude with a Man Overboard tattoo. That's a Hall of Fame shit-stirring move. Now, Tom and I must have logged on. We were asleep with our infant children at the time, but a lot of tweets were deleted the morning after. We don't have to get into it, but shit has been stirred and then lit on fire and tossed onto somebody's front porch because it's ScorchFest. Blazing. Okay, shit's been stirred, Tom. Do you want to do a little takes of our own just for funsies that won't count towards the competition?
Yeah. So again, the point is to deliver.
I'm already losing my voice.
The point is to deliver the best worst take, and I guess we'll reveal how we're doing it this year near the end of the episode. But yeah, let's give our own. I mean, I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. I thought the hottest shit would come, it would rise to the surface. So I've got a few, you've got a few. We don't know each other's, and they're not going to count.
You want to go give and take like we're doing honorable mentions in a draft or something?
Sure, yeah. Should we roll for it?
You know what? It. Roll the dice. Let's do it.
Evens or odds?
Evens.
A 6 and a 5, brother. My lucky number,
All
11.
Right.
So
you go first.
Neighborhoods is better than self-titled.
Interesting. And what the hell are you talking about? It took me a second. California is better than Neighborhoods, and neither of those are as good as... That should have been one of my hot takes. Yeah. California is better than Neighborhoods. Okay.
Oh.
I'm going to start off base simple here. Whoa is the top 5 Paramore song. Well, let's just dip our toes.
Oh, okay. Seeing a band at Warped Tour doesn't count as seeing a band live.
Okay. You are setting the fucking world on fire. What the heck? I'm going to give you the floor to continue explaining yourself, mostly just because I have no idea what you mean by that.
I don't know. It's such a shitty experience. They get 20 minutes. There's no conversation. There's no lights. Like, the sound is kind of just okay. Like, I think it maybe half counts as seeing a band live, but I would need, like, a really compelling argument.
Here's the hot take. Music festivals kind of suck.
Yeah,
you're rushing back and forth from stages. The sets are shorter and less intimate than like you would just seeing the band. They're popular for the last like decades, so the prices aren't even like, you're not even getting that great of a deal after how much you end up spending on these fests. Anyway, I feel you now that I consider it. Okay, what's her name? Top 5 Green Day song. Just picking a momentum. Okay. Let's just ease in.
Wow.
Ease in.
Although I do love A Day to Remember, most bands compared to A Day to Remember are actually better than A Day to Remember.
Interesting. Somebody recently just started listening to the show and tweeted, "Where's the Day to Remember stuff?" Sounds like don't hold your breath.
No, I actually listen, guys. I like A Day to Remember.
Look, we like them. That's the thing about it, is we like them. That's the whole fucking thing right there.
I actually like them a lot, but the bands that get compared to them, I think, are often sometimes better.
Sure. Here's one for you. The only song worth anything pre-Dude Ranch is Carousel.
Oh, dude, Untitled. Come on.
Oh, dude, no.
Oh, dude. All right. Give me The Harder the Wonder Years Try, the worse they get.
Oh, man. There's a really good one of yours take coming up later that we'll get to. Here's one. The Starting Line and The Dangerous Summer sound exactly alike and are both just okay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's ScorchFest, man.
I might need a new co-host. That's the worst fucking take. You're getting a spatula tomorrow, dog.
Bring it to my house and spank me with it, man. I'll gladly receive that.
All right. If I heard Simple Plan for the first time when I was 16, I probably would hate them.
Wow, Simple Plan just wrecked this episode.
But listen, guys.
I'm gonna zag and say,
yeah.
Hey, no, listen. That's the thing about it. Let's not rush to judge. Wow, there's a ton of there's a ton to sort through.
You guys hate Simple Plan.
Have been sitting on some just absolutely explosive Simple Plan takes. Okay, AFI was just okay.
Sure. I'll allow it.
That explains it all, man. We'll keep doing episodes if you want them as it comes, but perhaps they weren't as special as you all feel they were. That's all.
I'll say this one actually hurts. I'm almost embarrassed to admit that Blink-182 is my favorite band, and at this point, the tarnishing of their legacy makes me rethink them as my favorite band status, and that honestly breaks my heart. They should just stop.
Yeah, live long enough to see yourself become the villain, I guess. Okay, Foley, the album by Fall Out Boy, is also just okay. You all came at us hard as after the Fall Out Boy draft. Guess what? We listened. It's fine, man, but come on. You guys came at us swinging hard. It's unspectacular. Actually, I'll follow that up with this, Tom. Foley is not a top 3 Fall Out Boy album.
Okay.
That's how I feel about it.
I don't think I've ever listened.
That's what Tom thinks of all of your Fall Out Boy feedback from that episode. He didn't spend a single minute of his life in the month since giving a single It's like, oh, really? And that was the episode where you said they never wrote a good verse. So obviously,
no, I did not say. I did not say that.
All right. Go ahead, your turn.
I don't really have much else. I did write. I have the best taste in music and everyone else, but that's
there you go. That's what this is all about. Keeping it friendly to a point until we have to say that. Yeah. Okay, here's one. Last one for me. There are no front to back all-time low albums.
Yeah.
That is how I feel about that band. And we say, hey, look, we like them. Yeah, but we like them as much as we like any other. Yeah, we were in high school. It's like that thing. Was it a great movie or did you see it when you were 11? I think there's a lot of that going on this show and you fucking all know that. If you're listening to this, you are aware of that sentiment. Okay.
That was kind of my thought with the Simple Plan stuff. You know, I mean, they were my gateway to Blink-182. Like, I could not possibly have enough respect for the impact that Simple Plan has had on my life, but I will admit, I discovered them when I was 11. You know what I mean? Like, it says a lot.
The Heart of the Wonder Years Try, the Worst They Get was my favorite of yours.
So, okay, this might be the hottest take I could give. Get Stoked on It is the Wonder Years' best album, and then maybe Suburbia, and then maybe The Upsides.
Yeah.
If we're looking at like impact, maybe The Upsides would be top for impact, but of albums that I enjoy, it's hard because, you know, we did an episode on The Upsides and it dragged a little bit in the middle there. That's kind of why I'm docking points for it. But anyway, the episode's not about us. How do we want to handle this? We had 13.
We have some audio files.
Yeah, we had 13 submissions. Not all of them have audio, and that's fine. We'll read them. But if there's audio, we're going to play it.
We asked for backup takes. I'm going to clarify this. We asked for backup takes for the written submissions.
Yes.
So we're going to count 2 max for each person, which we felt was fair, splitting it down the middle. I know we said on Twitter only 1, but the people who sent in audiograms said like 17 in some cases. So we're just going to like split it down the middle, 2 max, and we're going to pick the ones we think have the best chance of winning from the one that was submitted audio.
It kind of reminded me of in Wedding Singer when Billy Idol was on the plane and he's like, and since we let our first class passengers do pretty much whatever they want, here it is.
Well, that's the thing. So this is the first year we did it, and some of you put such effort into your snippets. We felt perhaps it could be rewarded with including a backup take there. So I guess moving forward in future years, we'll go, you can do more than one, but you got to make it special. Right. Or we just will write 2 on the form anyway. Okay. You want to just dive the hell in? I mean, it's ScorchFest after all. Shall we get to scorching? Yeah,
so the order in which we are playing them was randomly picked. We had submissions 1 through 13, and I just kind of ran a random picker number, and it put people in order. So we were not discriminating on who gets played first. It's not in the order they were submitted. We let Google decide. And first, we have Shane, and we're going to roll the audio.
Hey, this is Hopeful Prospect, and I'm super pumped for ScorchFest 2022. Shout out to my fellow Remenere-Duels, and here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
All Time Low and We the Kings sound exactly the same. You could tell me that Check Yes Juliet was written by All Time Low, and I would say, you're right. Next question, please. Panic at the Disco is just an electronic pop version of Fall Out Boy, and that is why they are famous.
Sure.
Fall Out Boy's only full listen, no skip album is Take This to Your Grave.
Oh.
Angels and Airwaves lyrics were written by a third grader. Boxcar Racer was only popular because it didn't have Mark.
Oh.
A Sum 41 peaked at all killer, no filler. And guys, I'm sorry, but Simple Plan is just terrible. They sound like the personification of a sinus infection. All right, there you have it. Thanks for being awesome and for the great podcast. Take it easy, guys. See ya.
All right. Yeah.
We told you it was going to get Simple Plan hatred real quick.
Real quick.
Personification of a sinus infection. Just sitting on that one for years, I'd have to imagine. So if you had to take two of those moving forward, how you feeling? Two that could compete in the overall. We're going to try to whittle this thing down to 4 final takes and send it back to Twitter and Instagram and everything and let people vote.
Yeah. I don't even disagree about the Panic being the electro pop Fall Out Boy, because that's didn't they start as a Fall Out Boy cover band or something?
Well, that's the thing is what's weird, and that's why this is a frustrating competition, because it's at the whim of Tom and my very unstable psyches, first of all, obviously. And you all knew that when you participated, I feel like. But also, it's got to be like a little true, but a little ridic at the same time. So like, some of these are just accurate, I feel like.
Yeah.
So this isn't the only. Also, here's a new rule. There's a very similar Panic at the Disco take that we'll run into later. A take that has a double submitted by someone else, we're going to disqualify.
Oh.
That's how I feel. Do you agree? Just because it's got to be original and fresh enough that there was no, because we can't award that, like say that Panic take, it can't win because there's an identical Panic take by someone else. You know what I mean? So just by virtue.
So then the Simple Plan takes can't win because there's
exactly. That's my take. I feel like hey, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So
I'll allow it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So then that pretty much leaves us with Angels and Airwaves. The lyrics were written by a third grader.
Which is here's my case for this one ending up in the final 4. This is a take so hot that it is delivered in a way where the take giver, Shane, the take is this: I believe that the AVA lyrics were written by a third grader. That is a hot fucking take. I'm going to earmark that one as we move through, just because there's a little the lyrics can be pretty dumb, but we love it. But also where's the lie type situation. So I'm going to write that one down. All-time low and We the King sounding the same. I agree. I think it's too true to be hot.
Sure.
Fall Out Boy's only full listen, no skip album is Take This to Your Grave. There's so many fucking Fall Out Boy things. We should never have done the draft because we're just going to be fighting off Fall Out Boy takes for the rest of the time we do this show.
Right.
I'm just kidding. We low-key enjoy it. But it's wrong. It's hot. I'm mad about it, but I shouldn't punish it for those reasons. So I'm going to pencil in a check mark by that one as we move along here.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Thanks, Shane.
Yes, thank you. Next up is a non-audio. We got our buddy Jeremy chiming in. He gave us 2 of his best, and he came in hot too. You guys, I gotta say, you guys brought the thunder. It was a legit joy. I'm just too happy all day. Like I got to get more of a scorchy dirt. I'm losing my voice though. We got to get through this before I'm just hoarse. That's the trouble of doing. That's why we stopped doing bits. We lose our voices. Okay.
We're getting old.
Riot by Paramore is their worst album by far, he says in all caps.
Okay. I think he might have also given this take last year. He's still pissed about it.
Which I honestly respect that, he's just here to get the message across, if that's true. Submit it next year. It.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I don't necessarily agree, but I can see it. I can see how someone could come to that conclusion is what I'll say.
Okay, so in my hot takes, I chat a little bit on Foley by Fall Out Boy. You guys also had us listen to After Laughter. That has also in the last calendar year been homework you've assigned us. I agree with everything everyone has said so far about After Laughter. It's delightful, just as gut-wrenching as All We Know Is Falling, but it's polished and new and fun, and bands are allowed to change their sound up every 2 albums or whatever. So I could see looking back, and the love you all have for Brand New Eyes, it's not so crazy anymore. Because we did an episode on Riot years ago, Anyway.
Did
last year this would have been way Well, yeah, we did back in the day with Zach, I think.
No, we just did
honestly,
a Paramore episode for episode 100, I think.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think we did, either way, we ended up talking about Riot at some point.
Yeah.
And I think it's not as deep as we remember. So Jeremy, I think he was going because he knows us too well. He was trying to play chess, 3D chess a little bit. But I think you guys have been in our ear or in our psyches every day on Twitter for the last like half decade. So like, we're starting to like sync up like roommates, like, oh yeah, no, I agree. So I think we're becoming too close. And for that reason, I don't think it's as hot as it would have been if we were younger doing the show. Do you agree? Like I'm warming up to this take. And
I don't
which
know,
means he wins,
dude.
but I'm okay with that. I don't know. Let's flip it on its ear. Let's get pissed off. Like, dude, it's the only reason we know about Paramore. That was the album that took the world by storm.
Riot was there for me when I needed it the most. And actually, I uttered...
Was it more about the album, though, or was it the Haley's hair color at the time?
Well, okay, so I uttered like this exact sentence verbatim to my wife the other day. If I could go back in time and experience any album for the first time over again, it would be Riot, because the way it impacted me emotionally when I first heard it was unlike anything else at the time. It didn't it didn't change me as much as the first time I heard
Hallelujah.
it.
Let's not pretend you.
I know.
Try to remember
When it
where you were the
rains,
first time you
dude.
heard Hallelujah.
Crush, Crush, Crush? That's a
What is their
you,
worst
Jeremy.
album then?
I don't think they have one.
What? Okay. Well, what would it be if it's not Riot? Let's just go to the core of the take.
I mean, After Laughter is the album that I've listened to the least, but I can't dock it for that. I just don't know
It's
it.
pretty good, man.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know.
They got me with the homework.
I don't know.
I can't even say their Twilight soundtrack work as an album and just like cop out because that shit slaps too.
You know what? Actually, I
What
might
about Self-Titled?
I might know Self-Titled the least, if I'm being honest.
Is it possible? By far. Okay, Jeremy, here's a question for you. What are you going to bat for off of Self-Titled?
Right.
That's my fucking question. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll just leave it there. Moving on.
All
Moving
right.
on.
All right.
We'll put a little pencil mark next to it because that's hot. But also like, is it right? Oh God. Okay. I think it's the by far in all caps that's like, wait. I think anytime you see all caps online, you're like, I'm mad. I don't know why. His other take, Jimmy Eat World, should never have made a song other than Sweetness.
Wow.
Which is, I think, saying like,
Everything
either
else
it's high praise
sucks?
for Sweetness or Jimmy Eat World sucks ass, and they've only ever written one good song.
Probably the latter.
If it's the latter, that's hot as hell.
Yeah.
And we will be keeping this in mind moving forward, Mr. Levine. Because that is some spicy gumbo for our guy from Louisiana. Who probably doesn't really enjoy the Big Time and the Dirty radio intro, which is really just a radio send-up in general. And I really loved anyone who's submitted this week saying first time, long time. I don't know, it tickled me. Okay, Brooke.
Thanks,
Perfect
Jeremy.
Teeth by Motion. Yes, thank you very much. Brooke says, Perfect Teeth by Motion City Soundtrack is a god tier Motion City Soundtrack song that deserves way more recognition.
Ooh.
She might be a victim of just us agreeing with her. It's like, it's a great one.
Let me Google the lyrics so I can remember what song it is. Perfect Teeth. Perfect Teeth.
I will say it's not the hottest Motion City Soundtrack take that's been entered into the competition. I can say that.
I don't know I Am the Movie. I don't really enjoy it that much. So I'm not that familiar with the song.
That's fine. It is God tier. I agree. So for me, it can't be hot because I'm just right there with you, bro. Here's her next one. Fall Out Boy's album, Foulée, is just as good as their other albums.
Never listened. I don't know. So you are in disagreement on this one?
Well, that's what's interesting. The first take we had in this whole competition was, or one of the first was, Take This to Your Grave is the only no-skip Fall Out Boy album,
Yeah.
which is fucking wrong, Shane, you idiot. Brooke
keep it
comes in
friendly.
and says, sorry, you guys are, you brought too much heat. It's getting warm. I'm working me into a shoot, damn it. Okay, Foley is just as good as their other albums. Now, is that saying Foley and Cork Tree are equals? Because that is fucking false. Is it saying there's a group of 3 or 4 Fall Out Boy albums that are of a higher quality starting? Well, no. Starting with Grave and ending with Foley? I don't know. Just as good as like the first half of their whole career? I don't know. I'm confused by this one and I'm scared by it. So I think it's the human tendency in me to just begin my ignorance on the topic at this point, just acting a fool.
Again, everyone just letting us know they're way cooler than we are.
I think there's some truth here going on, Tom. Do you have thoughts before we move along?
I just don't know their later career stuff. I stopped listening, and then one time I heard that song Light 'Em Up, which I don't even know what album it's from, and it's just like, I'll check out if anything that happened after 2005. So
America's Sweethearts is really good. What a Catch Donnie is on there, things like that. It's got the Bears on top of each other. I think the lead single off it was I Don't Care What You Think As Long As It's About Me, and that was the first single I heard, and I was in high school. I was like, they've changed. I'm out. Way premature. But I don't think it's as fantastic as the listeners of our show feel. But is it just as good as some of their other albums? Like, it's not in a different ballpark than Infinity on High. So I think this one might just be true, which is the case with some of these takes that we'll see today.
Agree to disagree, but we'll move on. Thanks, Brooke. Appreciate it.
Here's Corey. Jimmy Eat World has a better discography than Fall Out Boy. I'm shocked you guys wanted us to talk about Fall Out Boy this much, to be honest, based on how upset it seems to make all of you.
Wow. Okay. So this is where I would like...
This is so dumb. You guys are all wanting torture. You guys want our houses to catch on fire? Is that what this is?
I wish in the Google forum that I asked for people's age, because I know that some of our listeners do have quite a few years on us. And personally, I think that like even just the matter of 3 years is totally different music happening in high school.
These are the two bands we are damned if we do, damned if we don't. Because if we say something bad about Jimmy Eat World, people will be like, well, that's something you've f***ed up on the show before. And if we say something bad about Fall Out Boy, people are like, well, that's something you've f***ed up on the show before. There is no winning here. So Corey is like, let's just preheat the oven to 700,000 degrees and see what goes wrong here. Beloved early album, right, with Clarity and Take This to Your Grave. Breakout crazy album with Cork Tree and Bleed American. Really beloved follow-up to that in Futures and Infinity on High. It really, we're splitting hairs between big-ass fans between the two. I think Jimmy Eat World has weirdly more street cred maybe, but like in the context of the show.
I think it depends on your age. Corey,
I don't know.
Please tweet at us and let us know how old you are. Because if you're like 35, it's just going to make a lot of sense, I think.
Yeah, it's like the Hard Times article, like which, indie music are you going to make your child listen to that they don't want to or whatever? Like, as a dad, which music are you going to shove down your kid's throat? Is like America's Sweethearts better than like Big Casino or something, I guess is the question. I think it's Jimmy. I think I just agree with this. I think I just agree with this.
All right. Well, he's throwing more shade in his backup take here. I think at us specifically.
Hey, no, this is all. No, I own this book. We tweet about it. Nothing Feels Good by Andy Greenwald should be a required reading for members of the scene, so they know it started before 2005. Smiley face, which in the context here, the smiley face is essentially a human middle finger. Is really what that means. It is definitely the Bible for the show, for sure.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it because we haven't done a Thursday episode yet, but it is the Bible for the show, more or less. We have there's a copy at my house that someday I will give to Tom, and he won't read it, I don't think, but that's okay. I think that's just a nice sentiment. I don't think it's a hot take. It's just like, hey guys, remember, don't be dumb.
I mean, I feel personally attacked. Not really. No, I just, again, that's when we were in high school. So of course the scene started in 2005. But yeah, I'd be curious to know the age. Thanks a lot, Corey. I personally need to
That take has me in circles with all this talk about the early emo stuff, Tom.
Don't get
Sorry.
it.
Let's just move right the on from there.
Let's take a quick break because I am exhausted already. Let's thank our Patreon supporters, and then we'll come back with an audio file from Patrick Mcdonough.
This is going poorly. Yeah, halftime. I'm tapping out.
All right, this is Tom here in the edit, and even I'm exhausted listening to this all over again. But let's take a break and let's shout out our Council of Elders. These are our top-tier Patreon supporters. In this group, we have Andre Provost, Johnny Leftwich, Jason Carey, Anonymous, Chris Lukey, Nathan Eshelman, Drew Edwards, Carrie Sanchez, Melanie, and Devin Booz. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. Thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. It truly means the world to us, and it's allowed us to pursue some really fun projects, and we've got some upcoming stuff that we're really excited to share at some point in the future. If you'd like to check out the Patreon, you can head to patreon.com/reminiscent and get weekly post shows, behind the scenes videos and photos, video AMAs, and get a sneak peek at what we're working on future episodes, and even get to weigh in on what we actually record. Again, that's patreon.com/reminiscent. And now that we've all taken a collective deep breath, let's get it back into the madness of ScorchFest 2022.
Hey guys, Patrick Mcdonough here. I'm stoked to be able to participate in ScorchFest this year. I had to miss last year's while my son was being born.
Fair
All right, so here's my steamy hot take. This comes from a place of love. My band was basically a Green Day cover band in high school. American Idiot is the only complete Green Day album.
Oh.
International Super Hits is the only comparison because it pulls all the best songs from all their other albums. Anything after American Idiot isn't worth it. I'm sure I'll get roasted for this, so I look forward to hearing what everybody thinks. Lastly, it's a travesty you guys haven't done a Story of the Year episode yet.
Who?
Chris Lukey and I will continue our flame war on Twitter until Story of the Year is picked in a draft or as an episode. Love you guys. Bye.
Okay. Like a good Midwestern individual, Patrick played by the rules and delivered one take. His take was interesting in that it is wrong, which makes it pretty hot. Also, he said the only other album worth a damn is like a greatest hits album, essentially. So that is some crazy Green Day disrespect. It's so hot. I need to pass the baton and stop speaking about it because there's just a lot going on.
It is so f***ed up, man. Well, okay. So,
Hey, man, this is yeah, that's f***ed up, man.
All right. So again, I discovered Blink and Green Day. I discovered Blink and Green Day on the same day. And it was one of those things where oh, is this a new band? Wait, they've been out for 35 years already and they have 7 other albums. I dug back into pre-Enema Blink and didn't really I don't know. It didn't really cling to me, but Green Day has so many good albums. From Dookie, actually Warning is weirdly one of my favorite albums of theirs. I think Dookie is, it's my second favorite album of all time. It is a front to backer if there ever was one. I think the same thing about Warning, which I know a lot of people did not like Warning. A lot of people didn't like American Idiot, which is why I find this take so fascinating that he's saying it's the only good one where a lot of other people say it's shit.
It might be the thing from the take before that from Corey where it's are you 3 years older or younger than the person who would believe this? You know what I mean?
Right, for sure. Thanks, Patrick. I appreciate it.
And thank you to Corey. And have we not been thanking everybody? No, we have.
We have, yeah. Thanks, Patrick. That's brutal. I think that, for me, is going to be one of the top ones.
Although, you know what? I'm going to go back and rescind my thank you to Jeremy because he knows the Riot thing was going to be what made this show unravel. I think he knew it. Okay, here's Chris.
Hey, what's up, Tom? What's up, Pat? Hope you're having a great ScorchFest so far. This is Chris Lukey, and here is my hot take for 2022. Now, originally I thought about dragging both of you for your utter disrespect towards Story of the Year, The Used, John Feldman, and quite frankly, anything Fall Out Boy wrote after the year 2005. But I've changed it, so here is my hot take for the year. The Future Freaks Me Out by Motion City Soundtrack is an utterly garbage song. It's annoying, overly synthy, and the band would have been better off never having written it. Anyway, just wanted to also thank you for telling me to f*** off at the beginning of episode 252. Love you guys, and hope you're having a great ScorchFest 2022.
Hey, Chris, f*** off.
Okay, Chris, I will say this. There are days where you cheer for the show in a way that we couldn't because we feel so imposter syndrome-y. And it's very uplifting and beautiful, the enthusiasm you bring to this world. With that said, f*** off, Chris. What the hell?
This is wild. Again,
It is insane.
I do not love I Am the Movie, but The Future Freaks Me Out is... I mean, it is weird.
It was the first time I interacted with JCP online, which is, it's happened 3 times in my life. He's a very friendly, responder sometimes.
Yeah.
But I just tweeted it, not even at him, and he was just like, hey, don't worry about it, man. I was like, whoa. Thanks, JCP.
You just tweeted the words, The Future Freaks Me Out?
Yeah, he must have just been on Twitter board one time on tour or something. I was in college. It was amazing. It made my month. Oh, man, I don't agree on this. I don't agree with this on so many levels.
They would be a better band if they never wrote it.
It's just so insane. This is the first time I heard about the Hangout. Was someone was wearing a shirt in that art class and was like, yeah, listen to this. And then there was the first song I heard off the first CD. It was like, hey, you should try this song first. Everything clicked and made sense. It is my favorite song of theirs.
Oh.
This is flirting with Too Insane in the sense that you knew it was going to be hot because it was so hot. It's like Tom not liking the Beatles. I almost don't even believe you think this. But it's not quite over that line. But you're flirting with it, Chris. We'll keep it in. I'll dog ear it. I'll put a little pencil by it. That is a spicy meatball.
I'm interested in this because when I saw Motion City, wow, they were touring with the Wonder Years in 2015, and they closed the set down with The Future Freaks Me Out, and the place exploded, man. I feel this is an outlier take, I'm sure. It is synthy and it's a little weird, and it's honestly, I'm surprised I even fell in love with it as much as I did at the time. It might be because kids that I've really looked up to singled me out and had me listen to it, but it just I felt like it was on some new shit. I mean, we talked about this in the Motion City soundtrack draft. It was it is kind of threading that needle of what I consider quote unquote cool kid music, but it's quirky.
But the thing
enough
is,
to
it
not
changed,
be,
and
yeah.
Okay, so I think what I'm learning on the show is I love debut albums 1,000% more than 75% of the people we interact with, including you.
Yeah, for sure.
But their career went in an incredibly different direction after I Am the Movie. I think where you live very much in the pre-dinosaur life, dinosaur life-y, even if it kills me area.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even a little post Commit This to Memory, which is insane to me. But I don't know, tracking their journey is just hey, man, wow, they came all the way from here, but they had it then. And it's one of my favorite songs ever. And favorite acts, I don't know. Anyway, let's just move on. This was indeed hot. And let's keep going because we have plenty to get to.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, here's Melissa.
You, but good for you.
You. Good for you.
All right,
but good for you.
Melissa.
You going to prom? Good for you. All right, sorry, Melissa.
Hey, Remanasties, this is Melissa, and my hot take is one that many will not appreciate. I actually do not like Soco Amaretto Lime by Brand New.
What?
I don't like the lyrics. They're very basic, very literal. I just don't like it. So that song is probably my least favorite from the entire Brand New catalog.
Whoa.
Oh, no.
And I know that everybody rants about wanting to go to Ocean Avenue or Ocean Boulevard, but one place I would rather go to that's found in pop rock or pop punk lyrics would be catching a train to Poughkeepsie and watching the time stand still.
All right, this is crazy to me because I feel this is hot. So I feel like people that don't love Brand New or don't really know them that much know this song and love it. The lyrics are literal, sure.
Talk about aim away message. It's an aim away message.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Yes.
We don't spend a lot of time. Well, we say that, but we did an episode on the album. But it is an interesting take to say that it is if before the show I was like, hey, there's a person in the world whose least favorite Brand New song is Soco Amaretto Lime. Yes or no? Is that true or false? What would you have said?
I would have said there's no way.
There's no way. There's no way.
Zach and I used to cover this like crazy, and I loved it so much. My wife has mentioned, I forget which lyric in here. She did say like, "Oh, I hate that line." So maybe there's more than one person out there, but It's just, I mean, you're just jealous because we're young and in love. I remember working at Eaton Park, cleaning the men's bathroom at like 16, listening to this with my headphones on, just being like, I want to be young and in love. I was the jealous one. I mean,
I think you say you don't like good new music the way you liked old music, probably because you haven't discovered it cleaning a toilet in a long time.
Jesus, what a job. Okay. Her backup take here.
Catching a train to Poughkeepsie over going to a place on Ocean Avenue.
I wonder if she means that literally or if she's saying that woke up in the car is better than Ocean Avenue, which is...
I think it's a literal, like, if you're going to do the geographical item from the universe we discuss on the show, she'd rather catch a train to Poughkeepsie and watch time stand still than go to a place on Ocean Avenue.
Well, I'd rather watch time stand still as well if we're going real literal. But I went to Ocean Avenue / Boulevard, and
you've already done one of those things.
It felt weirdly spiritual. Like I actually shed a tear.
Here's what I have to say about this take: is we should do a geographical place draft.
Yes,
soon.
Yes,
which I'm grateful for the idea because I'm surprised we haven't done that yet.
Thanks, Melissa.
Here is Nick
from the Friendly Competition podcast.
Hey, big time dirty. It's St. Nick out in St. Paul. Long time, first time. Heard you got ScorchFest coming up. Want some takes? Here's what I got for you. Front to back album shows are garbage. I don't want hold me down at the end of a show. I need you to hold me down and play Everything's All Right, okay? Speaking of album tours, your boys from the Quaker State doing Upsides in Suburbia this year. No disrespect, but Upsides is the freaking worst. If I want corny lyrics about college, I'll set my Facebook memory statuses to the tune of We Freaking Get It in D flat. Compared to the poetry on the next 3 albums, Upside can't even tie Greatest Generation shoes. Only one band should be doing an album tour, and that's Mayday Parade, because they only got one good frickin' album, A Lesson in Romantics. You're telling me anyone else is really out here trying to get something from Monsters in the Closet? Their tour should only be A Lesson in Romantics and that one Pussycat Dolls cover, okay? Anyways, now my acid is acting up. My heart is having a scorch fest, if you know what I mean. Love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
Oh my God.
I think I might cry.
Okay, this is...
Damn.
This is brutal, man.
Can't even tie its shoes. That was a good one. That was a fucking good one.
Right.
That one tickled me a great deal.
Yeah.
Let me get this out of the way. Mayday Parade, one album wonder. I don't even hate that. I'll be honest.
I don't know. I mean, I swear This Time I Mean It is a good song. If you can
we got a lot of takes to get through. Do you really want to go to bat for that one? I just agree. The thing is, we're not saying these are bad takes or not hot. You just happen to find 2 people in this world that agree with you on something.
Okay.
So if we got to your take this episode...
I 80% agree.
Yeah.
10-year album concerts is generally terrible. Quickly. Yeah, you want to be conscious about your opener and closer. And if your opener is any brand new album, their openers are shit. You don't want to open with that. So, yeah.
Depends. I think it depends, but I disagree. I don't know. If it's hot in the sense that some of the best concerts I've been to, I think the Weezer Memory Tour specifically, they played 2 albums front to back on that. I mean, those shows were long as hell. It was just kind of special because you've heard it in your ears so long for so many years. I don't know. I disagree. I don't know why I'm trying to be so polite suddenly for this individual. Well, I think for this matter, I don't quite agree as much as you think I might.
Let me say that I have never been the person to look up a band set list. I want to be surprised. So if they're playing the album in order, it almost loses some of the thrill of, ooh, what's next? So maybe that's how I land on that one. But let's take a second to talk about a take that was not in the audio file, but was in the Google form. Taking Back Sunday and Paramore's last albums were actually their best, but because there was no nostalgia tied to it, no one cared. Whoa!
That's don't overlook that take. Taking Back Sunday and Paramore's last albums are their best. I mean, there's a lot going on here. You're going after people, us, and you're also claiming that a string of pretty forgettable Taking Back Sunday albums have any relevance whatsoever, which might be a hot take, maybe not. there's a lot of heat here. There's a lot of layers of heat here is what I'm trying to say. I didn't want to just brush by it because I'm like, let's just take a minute to look at this.
I don't think I've even listened to Tidal Wave yet.
No one's listened to Tidal Wave yet.
God. But no, they have some.
The saddest thing is to watch them do interviews about taking back Sunday self-titled and be like, man, we really do love that record, don't we? Why doesn't anybody like it? And they're just like, of all the bands that shed the like nostalgia stuff, it's definitely them. So I think it hurts them the most, which you don't want to see them be upset. But Paramore seems to age well.
Yeah. People do love that record.
After Laughter was quite good, so they figured it out. I agree with half this, which makes it one half less hot. Because I agree. And we proved on the show that our vision is blurred like a mo
right.
by nostalgia. Nostalgia is dangerous. We say that every week.
Yep. Just a bunch of rose-colored boys.
Wait, I think in that scenario, we wouldn't be the rose-colored boys.
Oh. We're boys wearing rose-colored glasses.
Basically, don't call me Chad is what I don't want to have happen ever on the show.
But the big one, this is...
Couldn't even tie its shoes.
That's me doing an impression of this individual doing an impression of me doing an impression of a radio jockey that doesn't exist. That's what that was.
Oh my God. Okay, so excluding Sister Cities, all other Wonder Years albums are better than the Upsides. Okay, so let me say that the Wonder Years, I said the more they try, the worse they got. They have some really, they have a string of like 4 or 5 really great records in a row. And I almost don't disagree that much with this take because the Upsides lost a lot of steam in the middle. However, I think, I might enjoy Suburbia more as a full album, but the songs by the Wonder Years that impact me the most are on the Upsides because of my freshman year of college is when it came out and it just it hit right. But I would say Get Stoked on It is even better than the Upsides, which the band doesn't even acknowledge that they ever wrote that album. I can kind of see why, but it's hot, man. Sister Cities is dog shit. But Greatest Generation, that's brutal. It's got me spinning, to be honest, because I don't know what percentage of my brain disagrees, and that scares me. So.
Welcome to hell, brother. Okay.
Thanks, Nick, for a super awesome read. Really appreciate it. Oh my gosh.
Here's a non-audio submission from Destiny, who has made it a life mission just to remind us that Fall Out Boy has done music after the year 2005. I respect the Scorch here. She chimes in with the take, quote, growing up is realizing that Mania is one of the best albums of the decade.
Oh.
End quote.
Shit.
What?
Okay, can I say that I had to Google who wrote the album Mania?
I think my favorite part so far of ScorchFest 2022 is Tom gleefully not giving a single FUCK about it. Anyone trying to correct our thoughts on Fall Out Boy. I'll let you have the floor. It sounds like you've done the research here to back up your take.
No, I couldn't name a single song off Mania. I didn't know who wrote it.
So would you say it has a legitimate shot at Album of the Decade?
No. What decade?
Right.
Is it the aughts? When did it come out?
So what's interesting is doing this show is some of you are specifically listening to us as a stan of a specific band. Destiny's love of Fall Out Boy is admirable. This is Scorchy because that is such I think in a vacuum, redonkulous take. This particular late career Fall Out Boy album being one of the best albums of the decade it was released in. It would be a longer discussion to say one of their earlier albums were an album of the decade, an album that was better than Mania. So to say this, I got to say I respect just putting the take down. Just hitting enter was like, you woke up that morning and just chose violence. I'm just going to dog ear, put a pencil mark by it, and we're going to move along. But committing to the bit just to correct us because you disagree with us so hard, I really like it. is for the sake of the Scorch. I think we tweeted at some point last week, go ahead and drag our asses. That's the whole point. Nothing's on the table. Playing to win, it's almost better if that's not your aim. Just drag us mercilessly because we deserve it. Let's be honest. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Go ahead, read this one. Or
All
sorry,
right.
take it. My voice is starting to.
All right, we have Adrian. Oh, God. Brand New never released anything that wasn't done better by a different band. I can't help but laugh at this point. This is just insanity. I don't know. I've always thought
What's interesting is you. Go ahead.
I've always thought that Brand New, I mean, they weren't that far removed from any other kind of pop punk stuff, but I feel like they did it in a way that I've never quite heard anyone nail in the same way that they have.
So you talk about the New York, New Jersey people, right?
Yeah.
Long Island people, I guess, specifically. If they would have said Seosin in the place of Brand New in this take, it would have just been like, yeah, I think we can all kind of get ourselves there. If you look at early concert footage of Brand New and nothing else, this take doesn't seem that crazy. But this take is crazy. Let's put a little mark by it and move along to the second take. I love Say Anything, but I think Max Bemis is wildly overrated as a lyricist and frontman.
And a front man. Oh,
You know what? Let's just take a minute.
Jesus.
Tom stopped it halfway through. He never just says, we're going to stop the episode for halftime and read the Patreon. He just does it in the edit.
Right.
We were tired then, for real. So he actually gave us a break. I just don't have it anymore for shit like this. I'm going to put a pencil mark by it.
That's
I can't
brutal.
even digest it. I can't even digest it.
Oh, Jesus.
Some of you just
Christ.
knew what you were doing when you played this year. And again, we deserve all of it. Specifically, Adrian, Destiny, and Jeremy. I think these were personal attacks that we deserved. Patrick and Chris included. So we are going to take these lumps, these deserved lumps, try to be objective when this thing is over, and then turn it back to you guys with a final four we feel represents the hottest takes.
Ooh.
But damn. Okay. Here's an audio one from Dylan.
Hey, Tom and Pat, it's Dylan, a.k.a. Dollar Tree Chris Pratt, and I want to give you my scorching hot take for ScorchFest 2022. First of all, thank you guys for doing this. First time, long time, all that stuff about being a long-time radio fan, that doesn't really land as much as I think it would.
It lands.
My scorching hot take is that Midwestern emo is not that good. And in comparison, neon emo is better. Now, I know that's through rose-tinted goggles. I know it's all subjective, but that's my take. I think that Midwest emo, it takes itself way too serious. I don't think it's very good. I think it rewards bad musicians. And neon emo was just people who needed to grow, and a lot of them ended up being good musicians. They were just kind of stuck in the shtick. So,
wow.
Anyway, that's my hot take. See you guys.
Okay, what to you is Midwest emo? Because I feel like it could be a lot of things.
Okay. What's interesting is, okay, there's two ways to not necessarily play to win here. And these aren't a knock on the takes. I hope if you feel your take was knocked, this is a silly game in general, and you guys don't seem to like us very much anyway. So there's one way to do it is to just drag us specifically very encouraged. Another one is to make a stance at a narrative you feel should begin, like Jeremy being so hard against Riot by Paramore year in and year out. It is admirable, but Dylan on his way down wants to take an entire branch of the tree with him, which is on one hand about as hot as it gets. He's like, that's like a huge part of this nation. The Midwest. No one really knows where it even ends and begins. So scope-wise, this might be the hottest take we've ever had in a ScorchFest. So I just want to say that out of respect to how redonkulous this is. A lot of love for neon. Thoughts, Tom?
You know, this is another thing where it's like, well, what is neon? Because I think of like Forever the Sickest
Driven
Kids.
by the t-shirts, I think.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there were some terrible neon bands. Looking at you, Cobra Starship.
Whoa, fangs down for a minute. Let's not hurt anybody's feelings here.
But no,
okay?
there were some pretty brutal neon bands But so I think my perception of Neon is different than what it really was, and it's probably the same way for Midwest emo.
I don't know if he's referring to bands like, okay, so if Greenwald is required reading and like the history of emo is required reading, is he discussing acts like The Promise Ring that you and I don't necessarily care about that much because we're 3 years too old to care, 3 years too young to care or whatever, like whatever. That I don't know, there's a lot going on. He went after the musicianship for a second.
Dude, because I mean,
there was some heat packed into this thing. You know those little things you break open to keep your hands warm in the Arctic or at like a cold football game? I don't know why I said the Arctic first. Usually it's for much less intense situations than that. This is what's in those packs is this take because there's so many layers.
It's interesting because when I think of Midwest emo, I think of some of the coolest guitar riffs I've ever heard in my life. So I might be thinking about something totally different. But again, to be good, you got to be kind of f***ed up and kind of wrong. So
yeah,
it's pretty
Let's think about it. Pretty hot.
I don't think this was in the audio file, but in the Google form, he had a backup take that I thought was kind of interesting. He wrote, TikTok trends that use elder emo songs make me hate them and feel like they're selling out, even though they are 15 to 20 years old and it's not the band's fault. I kind of agree with this one. I just agree. It's, part of me wants to hold it against the band for like being in a weird trendy TikTok video. But what's interesting is I think we are going to see an era of music where record labels, we might already be there and I'm just not aware, where record labels are pushing TikTok challenges and like the thing that we perceive to be this thing that we hate is going to become like a reality for a while where they're like, oh, a band put out a single. We need to make a dance challenge for TikTok. And it's going to get even worse than we think it could be.
Yeah. I'm saving my energy.
We had, so thanks, Dylan. Brutal. We had Bridget come in at the bell submitting that Johnny Craig was the best singer to front Dance Gavin Dance. Did you listen to that band much?
I got to be honest, I did not. But emo Twitter loves Dance Gavin Dance.
They do. So I don't.
But also, emo Twitter doesn't seem to listen to Dance Gavin Dance either. There's a lot of Dance Gavin Dance chatter without any like substance to that chatter. It's just like, whoa, Dance Gavin Dance, am I right? And then emo Twitter is just like, yep, you're in the club. You said their name. I don't know. There's nobody like. I don't know. It seems less cutthroat. I don't know. Maybe it's a pleasant community to live in. Maybe we should start listening to Dance Gavin Dance.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know I've heard like Johnny Craig's solo album, and he's a great singer, obviously. He had, I think, one of the worst haircuts I've ever seen at the time. So I can't say much to it. I don't know who the other vocalists were, but I think you would be hard-pressed to have a more distinct and good voice than Johnny Craig. So I'll call it fair. And we can move on to...
This is a moment in the show when you could feel the energy drop out of the episode, where that's why we are any response here meant to make our days worse is totally deserved. Because this is an instance where like thoughts on Dance Gavin Dance. I say some nonsense. Back to you, Tom. Well, here's also some nonsense about Dance Gavin Dance because we just don't have the expertise necessary to properly gauge this take. So, and it wouldn't be a ScorchFest without this next line. We are sorry for everything as always. Okay, next thing.
And Bridget also says, A Day to Remember's best album was For Those Who Have Heart, but refused to play nearly anything from it live. Okay, this is a really, really, really
People
great
love
album.
Homesick, man.
They do, yeah. Okay, so I heard something really interesting from Andrew Wade, who is A Day to Remember's producer, because he does some mix sessions and stuff like that. And he was talking about, I forget what album, it's the one that has Right Back at It Again on it. And he was talking about how the band like just wants to write poppier stuff. And he said something along the lines of like, but the fans keep making them do these hardcore stuff that they're like, don't really have their hearts into it anymore. And it seemed like maybe they just wanted to be a more pop punk than like this, you know, you think of anything that was on For Those Who Have Heart. So it seems like they're maybe just kind of over it. And it's just like fan service to even put a breakdown in a song these days. So because of that, they're refusing to play the older album. I think this is a really hot take because, like you said, people fucking love Homesick, and I'm one of those people. So they've got some really great late albums, but I think this album was like pretty revolutionary for the scene. I think it's crazy that they don't play it live. I've never actually seen them live. So, but yeah, this album is incredible. They probably should pay a little bit more attention to it.
Yes. I was looking over at all the takes we have to pull into a final four, and I was starting to lose my mind all over again. Not that I had it with me throughout this entire process so far over the last hour or so, but we have one more individual left, and it's an audio file.
Yes.
Let's play it now.
All right.
Hey gang, this is Titus Tradewell. Not my real name, but this is the internet, so bear with me. I've got a few hot takes. I'm going to try and jam as many of them as I can into 1 minute. So feast your ears on this. First off, Panic at the Disco, pod favorite. They're in My Chemical Romance with twice the theatrics and none of the talent. The only reason they even hit initially is because everybody thought Sins was a new Fall Out Boy single. Green Day. Haven't been relevant since American Idiot and haven't been good since Nimrod.
Whoa.
American Idiot in particular was relevant because it sounded nothing like Green Day. It sounded like a bad Coheed and Cambria album. Thursday, War All the Time is their best album, not Full Collapse. Don't be an idiot. Weezer, Only in Dreams is the best Weezer song.
Wow.
Full stop. Their last fully good album was Pinkerton. They've had maybe 3 good songs per album since that, including Green, which again wasn't a return to form, just a return to the shitty version they are now. Saves the Day, Through Being Cool and Stay What You Are. Those 2 albums are better than most other bands' entire catalog.
Oh.
The lyrics on Stay What You Are in particular are what most Screamo bands wish they were writing at the time. And finally, Simple Plan. Guys, I don't get it, but Simple Plan sucks. Just Balls sounded like a pop punk album assembled in a lab with auto-tune and feels like an affront to actual music written by actual humans. All right, that's all I've got. Scorch away. Goodbye.
All right, this one is just insanity front to back, man.
Just dropping a straight up saying in it like, don't be an idiot. Like, coming in hot.
All right.
We're coming in hot.
I've only listened to like one Thursday song, and it was just okay. It's the one you probably think it is.
Okay, that's Tom subtly saying, Jeremy, I don't agree with your takes, all right? And in retaliation, I'm going to say something about Thursday that might upset you. So the panic take, though hilarious, is out because we've had 2. Panic was basically Fall Out Boy, and that's why they got famous takes.
Yeah.
The panic take that could be in play, however, is saying that they are MCR with twice the theatrics and none of the talent. That is an interesting thing to say.
Nuts. Twice. Okay, if you're saying Panic is twice the theatrics of My Chemical Romance, god damn. Because I think My Chemical Romance is one of the most theatrical bands out there in the scene. This is nuts. And none of the talent? I don't know, man.
I think Yuri is how people feel about him. I'm not sure untalented would be the word I'd use.
Right.
Right. Was he the reason Panic was good? I don't think so. He's part of it, but I don't know if he's the driving force. That seems to be the trendy emo Twitter take. Anyway.
Interesting.
American Idiot only relevant because it didn't even sound like Green Day, and that's why it was good, but it still sounded like bad Coheed. Is fucking blazing times 1,000. I got confused saying it again now, and I've even read these before we started recording. So that's pretty spicy, I think, for sure.
Oh my god, dude, that's nuts.
What do you want to take from here? What are you putting up? You know what? We've come a long way. Titus, great entry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
Again, we hope we had to react to a lot of these. If we didn't react in the way you hoped for one, we are sorry. Some of them were just true and we agree with. I think we are, but that, honestly, that took a lot out of us. Mostly the beginning, opening. I actually ran my dog around the block before we recorded because I didn't want to walk her like late in the dark in case a car was going to hit us or something. So I sprinted around the block with my dog right before this. That's neither here nor there. But sometimes, and I think if you go back and listen to last year's, we just agree with the take, which might be deflating or it might be good. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about this. Anyway, tweet at us at _reminiscentfn. And like I said, in the spirit of ScorchFest, you go ahead and just drag our asses. That's the whole point. Like, now's the time. This is the Festivus of this show, basically. Okay. Let's take a peek at what we're going to consider for the final 4, which we will be putting up on social media for you all to vote on for this year's ScorchFest winner. We will send the winner not a real gold spatula, but the spatula will be colored golden.
It'll look gold.
Yeah, right. But it is the trophy for this particular thing, which was spurred by an offhanded SpongeBob gif last year on Twitter, because this thing is supposed to be silly and fun. Let's all keep that in mind.
Yeah. So we're going to pick 4, and we're going to put a poll on Twitter for the people to vote.
And Instagram.
So we're going to leave it to the people. That's an exciting new twist this year, but we're going to pick the 4. And I don't think we agree on which 4. So we're already tired. We're already
Which
out.
Adrian take is hotter for you? Well, no, let's start here. Chris, MCS would be a better band if they hadn't written The Future Freaks Me Out, which is a bad song.
I picked that one because that's up.
That's disrespect right there. And it's in my book, I can put that in one of the 4 slots.
Okay, me too.
Because I think he's been sitting on that for a while, and he's just like, I'm going to present this, and I just want to watch everything be awful for everyone after these words get put in this order. Okay, so I think we can agree on that. Which Adrian take is hotter? Because I think one of them deserves to be in, but not both.
I think the Max Bemis take.
What was the take? What was the quote?
Wildly overrated as a lyricist and a frontman. I think it's the frontman thing that really pushed it over.
It's the lyricist part that bugs me. So I think we're kind of hinting that perhaps the brand new take isn't that crazy. If you paused, put the Bemis take in, or pencil it in. I'm not sure Adrian expected us to agree with the brand new thing as much as we are.
I don't agree, but I think the Say Anything one seems more out of left field for me, and it
is a little wild. Yeah, sure. No, I'm upset. I believe you. Okay. Where do we go from there? Now, the Shane take about the Angels and Airwaves lyrics being legitimately written by a third grader.
I had that one too. Maybe we agree on more than
pretty hot. It's pretty hot. I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say it ain't hot. So that's a maybe for me.
Okay.
There's a couple of American Idiot takes that either maybe they both get in, maybe they don't. We already disqualified some basically takes about, sorry, I'm losing my freaking mind, Panic at the Disco and there's some Fall Out Boy takes.
And Simple Plan. Those are some of the best ones, but they got knocked out.
Right.
So I'm almost tempted to have both American Idiot takes in there because they're conflicting. One is saying it's the only good album. One is saying it's dog shit. So
okay, so Nick said something about Upsides that I'm shocked you agreed with, but you do agree with it. So that means it's not as hot as maybe he was hoping, or we were hoping.
I think,
but he was like, "Hey, it's not as good as some others," and you're like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm with you there." Maybe people thought you weren't as big of a or as full catalog fan of that band as you are.
Oh,
which
I am.
I could see why they would say that, because we do a show about only knowing half the catalog of most of the bands we discuss.
Right.
But Tom knows a ton of that band and kind of agrees with you, so maybe that doesn't end up in the final 4.
I thought it was going to be. I dog-eared it as one of my big ones. And,
right, when I first saw it, but now that I'm glad we talked through. Riot being the worst Paramore album by far. I mean, that's pretty hot, dude. It's pretty hot. It's not as hot as maybe we think. I mean, self-titled.
Right. Well, they've got some good songs on Self-Titled, but
they got some good songs on Riot, man. Like, who are we? Who are you? I don't even recognize you anymore, man.
No, Riot is it the best, or is it All We Know Is Falling? Anyway,
I mean, it's probably better than Brand New Eyes, man. Like, let's not lose focus here. We're allowed to get re-upset at Jeremy for this, which I believe with my whole heart is what he wanted, and is probably smiling ear to ear, dunking in the basketball hoop in his driveway while listening to this, because he's a fantastic athlete, and he posts pretty awesome dunk videos on Twitter. You should follow him, Vinyl Podcast on Twitter. He does a fun show as well on a similar topic. Let's see. That's a maybe for me. Let's see. Idiot being the only full Green Day album. That's pretty hot, man.
I think that's gotta be. That's gotta be in there.
Was only popular because it didn't sound like Green Day. I think I might have to nix that other. I mean, the one where he made it sound. I'm not sure it sounds like Coheed so much. I'm a little confused by the Titus one.
Okay.
So I might have to drop that one.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate because Titus was spitting fire. He just happened to touch on a lot of topics that everyone else touched on. So it feels like we're punishing him, but there was just a lot of like crossover.
Well, is the Panic is MCR with twice the theatrics but none of the talent out? Because it was doubled up?
It is not. It is not.
I think that's probably got to be one of my top 4. Can we put that one in?
Sure.
That's
okay, what's the running
nuts.
list? We got Chris talking about Future Freaks Me Out, Adrian talking about Max Bemis. We have
I think we
Titus.
picked 5.
Let's get rid of the Engine Airwaves take. It's funny, but I don't think it's like, I hate doing this, but it just makes me laugh. That doesn't mean it is better than some of the other good takes people had.
I lost it when he said that.
I did. Some of the audio file thing was really funny. Melissa, it was a good feature this year. Melissa sang Soko.
Oh,
I guess the take here is that like Soko, from her perspective, is the worst brand new song, which is pretty hot.
yeah.
That's a fastball there. That's the heater.
All right. So let me make sure I got it right. And we're not in perfect agreement with these, but we're trying to get the show wrapped up.
No, I think we've got there.
Okay. So our finalists from Titus, Panic is My Chemical Romance with twice the theatrics and none of the talent.
That's the talent part there. That's like, right.
And we have Patrick McDonough's Green Day Peaked at American Idiot, and International Super Hits is the only other album of theirs worth front to backing. We have Chris Lukey with The Future Freaks Me Out is the worst Motion City soundtrack song, and they would be a better band if they never wrote it. That's so f***ed. And we have Adrian's I Love Say Anything, but I think Max Bemis is wildly overrated as a lyricist and a frontman. So these are our final 4. Check out our Twitter @_reminiscentfm to vote on which one you think is the scorchiest, and they will be 2020's winner. So this was fun. This was terrible. It was.
I think it started off pretty high energy, and I've been sleepwalking for 40 minutes. I honestly, Tom, I don't know if we have a post show this week. I honestly don't.
All right. Well, let's give a song of the week. Do you got anything?
I do, actually. I saw this on one of the New Year's Rockin' Eve programs, Record Player by Daisy the Great and AJR. It's catchy. I like it.
Cool. I'll check it out. Give me Goldfish by Between You and Me. Just kind of rediscovering this band lately. I feel like they're, if we're going to turn up the heat again, they're kind of like All Time Low, but way better. So, Goldfish by Between You and Me. Might be having a conversation with their producer soon. Pretty excited about it. So thank you all so much for participating. It was so fun to have your voices in the show. I'd love to do more of this.
Yes. And also consider us humbled, because that was brutal.
All right. We love you all so much. Hit us up on Twitter.
Thank you. That was amazing. Legitimately uplifting,
Yes.
listening to everything and reading everything today. It's still absurd, all of this. And thank you very much.
Yep. Love you all. Bye. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that episode. It was so much fun to record it, and even in the edit, again, it was amazing to listen to. Thank you so much to everyone that contributed. This is one of the most fun episodes I think we've ever done. If you missed it, you got to be following us on Twitter @_reminiscentfm. That's where the party really happens. The podcast itself is just the sideshow to the Twitter at this point. Thank you all so much for listening. We love you so much. Catch us next week with another Under Oath episode. We love you all. We'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.
The Reminasties should have been called the Reminickelbacks. That's all.
The Reminickelbacks?